thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cyndi O'Meara, Carren Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Carren Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cyndi O'Meara.
Tart. I can't help myself.
Now, why can't you help yourself?
Well, because Kim's been picking on me, Cyndi.
Oh, she has, I admit.
Kim's picking on me like I'm some kind of nose and I won't have it. Anyway, listeners, I just had to get that out of my system so that we can get stuck into our podcast today, which we're all really excited about because we've actually got 3 gorgeous, spunky, fabulous, very attractive, superstar, stop it, shut the front door, teenage girls with us.
So get your teenage boys to come and listen to this very riveting conversation.
It's a shame we're not on video here because these girls are seriously gorgeous.
I think our rankings would go up.
Yes,
I think they would.
so, especially amongst the teenage boys.
I think so too. I think there's a whole other market there.
Yeah, that we haven't even tapped.
Correct. So we thought we'd bring on these 3 gorgeous, spunky young teenage girls to talk to us about the things that are different, from their generation to ours, from a concept of, mindset, how they think, what goes on in their world, the things that stand in their way, the questions that stop them in their tracks. What do they think about food? What do they think about exercise? What do they think about their body image? What's their views? And we want to hear it all. We want to get down and get up close and personal.
Mm-hmm. And we want to know what goes on between their ears because...
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So why don't I start? Because I've got a cracking question. Because 2 of the teenage girls that are sitting at the table here just happen to be the daughters of Miss Kimmy and Cyndi. So my first question to you girls is, and let's start with you, Tanya, what the hell is it like to have a mother like Cyndi? I'm just saying.
Well,
would you like me to leave the room?
No, that's all right. It's definitely good now. No,
But
before I would hate her experimenting with food and all of that, but I've kind of got into it myself, so it's kind of, she's very influential on me. And it's good, yeah.
So what's a normal day consist of for you? Like, what does your day start like, given that you wake up in the same house as Cyndi?
Usually we'll go for like a walk or...
What time do you get up?
6 or 5:45. Yeah, usually.
I suppose that's reasonable. If you were going to say 4:30, I was going to have to slap you on the forehead.
No, I do like my sleep.
Good. Woman after my own heart. Good. So,
and usually we'll go for a walk and come home, make a really yummy breakfast, experiment usually. What's your breakfast like? What is it? Like, what does she make? Or you make? Do you have much influence on that? Yeah. Like, I'll experiment and Mum will get ready sometimes and I'll make it and see if she likes it, or I'll go get ready for work if I have to go to work and she'll help me, but yeah.
What sort of stuff do you cook? Like, what do you make?
Right now... We just experimented the other day. It was banana nut porridge.
Oh, stop it. What's in banana nut porridge?
Okay,
everybody get your pens ready. Has anybody got a pen?
It's actually on the website. It's on, I already put it up on Changing Habits website.
All right, well, just hit us with it anyway. Just make my mouth water.
Okay, so we've got pecans, almonds. I think I put some dates in it. Chia seeds, fresh bananas. I forget what there's another nut in there as well, and then I just blend it up and you heat it all up in the Thermomix is what we do, and then you sprinkle it with whatever you want really, which is sultanas, and I put some cacao wafers on there as well. And it was,
you want to
I also put allspice and cinnamon in it as well.
I can't wait to eat again. So it's just a cocktail of different nuts with chia seed, banana, and dates.
Chia seeds and the chia seed soaks up all of the fluids in there. I think maybe I put a little bit of coconut water or coconut milk, whichever you really like the best.
I'll go the coconut
And then
milk.
it just kind of soaks up and it becomes like a porridge consistency kind of.
And you've been hiding this from me? I'm hurt. Let me just say I'm hurt.
You just have to follow Tanya. She's got a Facebook page now because I'm encouraging her. Like, I'm in the 50 level and she's 19, and I've encouraged her to create a page that will help other young people, because there's a lot of young people that they don't know what to eat. They eat breakfast cereals, or they don't know how to think, or they don't know where they're going in their life, or so I've encouraged her to get to that age group. And how many followers do you have now, my darling?
I think it's like 700.
Get out of town. What's the Facebook page so we can get you more followers? What's your Facebook page?
Tanya O'Meara Food and Surfing.
So Tanya,
T-A-R.
Tarnea O'Meara O''MEARA, and then just food and surfing. So yeah.
That's fantastic. Isn't that great?
Yeah, but I think what she's failed to talk about is well, after we've exercised, we do have a ritual. And what's that ritual? We go for coffee and we write.
We have a journal, and it's a gratitude book, and you write down what you're grateful for in the morning, or whatever comes to mind. And it could be anything. Like, I even write like the weather, or that I spoke to Catherine, or a friend from overseas, or it could be anything.
So was I in your journal this morning? Because we caught up.
Yes, yeah.
And do I have to give you $50 just for saying yes?
Yeah, just under the table.
And please, Tanya, did you say on there she's hilarious? How grateful you are that she is so goddamn hilarious. That's what you needed to write.
Yes. Of course, that all went in. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question. Having Cyndi O'Meara as a mum, you said you like it now, but in all honesty, was it tough being a teenager or a young woman? What was tough about it?
I think it wasn't tough. It was just, I don't know, she wasn't normal.
She said it. It came out loud.
She wasn't, I didn't consider her as like the normal kind of person. I don't know. Just her experiments. Like, even my lunchbox, I wouldn't have the normal things in, and I guess that's what's considered to be accepted as in being normal in my generation.
So you'd go to school,
but,
and what was
I guess I didn't realise. Maybe I did care, but I didn't. I don't care. But
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that could have been an unconscious thing. I don't know. Yeah. Could have been that, but no, her experimenting was not my favourite thing.
No, I remember because I've been your auntie for quite some time now, and I remember Cyndi would get a recipe, like let's say it was a cater.
Yeah.
She'd get cater, and all her kids would love it, but 6-7 weeks later they'd be going, please don't make cater anymore. Because it was like every day, sometimes twice or 3 times a day, because she loved it so much. And that was the intensity. I remember you saying to me, I love it, but sometimes she just keeps making the same thing.
Definitely a bit of variety.
Wouldn't you?
Yes, I would, until I perfected it. And then once I perfected it, I would then change it to see how many ways we could do it. So then we came up with ginger cater, and then we came up with kadak, and then we came up with a cater that we used different nuts in, so it really wasn't cater anyway because it had no almonds in it. And oh god, yeah, all right, I get it. Yeah, I did. I admit that's what I was like.
And even if it did kind of taste bad, we'd still eat it, I guess.
just to be nice?
Oh yeah, and just don't want to waste it. And
Mum's gone.
And Mum would eat it as well. Like, I was like, no, I don't want it. She'll just be like, no, she'll try to convince us that it tastes good, but
It never did?
not all the times.
I see. Okay, so getting off food and more going to, I think, or
You just don't want her to talk about
no,
you
but
anymore?
we're over the food. Okay, next question. What I want to talk about is that Tanya, her aim is to become a surfer, and an international surfer, and the best. World champion,
A professional surfer.
World champion, and what I want to ask her is, what's the mindset that is the difference at the moment between how you are now than you were a year ago? So she's just won, or not won, but got second in the Taiwan Open surfing. So this is an international competition, and it's a good result, a really good result, because kids came from all over the world to go to this.
And there's the most amazing photos on your Facebook page of that. I mean, breathtaking photos.
They're amazing, aren't they?
Oh.
So what's the difference in your mindset between, where you were a great surfer and you would get into a competition and you would just choke? So what's the difference?
I don't know. I've become more comfortable with myself, I guess. Being in my own skin and not doubting myself, and I guess in this past year I have focused more on health and food, and I'm just more comfortable with myself, I guess.
What do you think was the difference that made that difference for you? Like, how did you get more comfortable in your own skin, and how did you stop questioning yourself? Because I would imagine in what you're trying to achieve with yourself, that's probably 80% of the battle won. Is your mindset and the way that you think before you go into a competition. Because if you did go into a competition, or you went for something big and you thought, I'm never going to win this, I'm such a loser, then that would be the results that you would get. So what do you think it was that kind of gave you the way out of that kind of negative thinking?
Well, I've been doing a lot of mental training and trying to think positive, and I'm not sure really, 100%. Something just kind of clicked, and I'm just a lot happier, and maybe the positive journal could have helped, I guess.
Yeah. The gratitude journal, I've seen a real shift.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've seen a real shift.
And probably, would it be fair to say there's been mentors that have come into your life in the last year more so?
Definitely.
So are they men, women? Is it?
Both. I have a trainer on the Gold Coast, and he's helped me in comps, keep it simple. I used to overthink. I used to put so much pressure on myself, and because I knew I could surf all right, and I knew I could beat some of the girls, but I would get into the comp and I'd put so much pressure on myself that I'd just lose it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And so he's helped me to keep it simple. And there was a recent comp where I did that, and I was like, that's it. I don't want to do surf anymore. I was like, nah, that's just not what I want to do. I don't like competing. I was at a cracking point. I was really unhappy. And then my dad put me onto a mental coach, and she really helped me kind of see another side of it.
Wow.
Instead of.
Yeah, she's an athlete mental coach. So she has worked with beach volleyball as well as archery, the Australian archery team.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Just shows you, though, doesn't it? It doesn't matter what our age, but if you looking at you now, some people don't even get this as in their adult life. So for you to have these gifts and realising that there's tools like food, nutrition, mentors, asking for help, recognising that there are crossroads and points where you have to make big decisions, I mean, that's pretty powerful to get that at 19 years of age. Do you understand the significance of that?
Yeah, I didn't. I just thought it was just just go out there and just do it. But there's so many sides, there's so many different things that can help you in your way, and I've definitely realised that in the past year to 6 months.
And what I'm finding also is that Tania is a leader in her peers as opposed to a follower. And I'm noticing that with the guys, in actual fact, they're following.
That was my next question. They're only human. Have you seen the girl?
But they're listening to her, especially her thing on food and surfing. Some of these guys that are listening to her, they're athletes that are doing the Store Cup next year.
Wow.
And they're listening to her. She went to their pantry and pulled everything out of their pantry and told them what they weren't allowed to eat and tell them what they could eat. And then they're texting going, what do we eat? But eventually they got it, and they realise that, they're doing the right thing and they're feeling good for it. And this is what I'm finding is a lot of our young girls and boys are lost. And it's because their health physically isn't good, and neither is their mental health.
Well,
And
they've got
two
that
go
clarity.
hand in hand.
Yeah.
And it's just good to see role models, and we have 3 in the room with us that are role models in their age groups. Like, Taylor, how old are you? Now, this is Kim's daughter. Kim's daughter. How old are you, Taylor?
I'm 15.
So 15. So it's still it's very young. And let's ask the first question that my daughter was asked. What's it like having a mother like Kim?
Well, it's actually inspirational. Like, knowing that she's such a health guru. I used to call her health freak.
Let's just take the gloves off.
I would still call my mum a health freak.
That was Tanya.
Like, knowing that she's so understanding of me and wants to have the best of me, looks after my body, and knows what I should be feeding myself and helping me to get to where I want to with my career in dancing.
Yeah, and tell us what your aim is. Where you're aiming.
I would love to make it as a professional ballerina in the Royal Ballet Academy in London.
Wow. Do you know what I think is just so inspiring with both of you girls is that to be your age and to know what you want to be when you grow up. I mean, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I think that that's really inspiring, though, for you guys to have such clarity when you consider that so many kids your age and older have no direction, and therefore that's where they get lost and they kind of get caught in the stream, I think it's so admirable.
It's good to know. It is good. But then some don't necessarily know, where they're going. But that doesn't stop them from... The way I look at it, if a young person doesn't know where they want to go, keep in a momentum.
Yeah, keep trying
Do
different
something
things.
that you like or that you enjoy and get in that momentum. And even if it's going to university. So, Tanya has had 2 years of gap year, and she's about to...
2 gap years.
2 gap years, yeah. And she's just about to go to university next year, not really knowing exactly what she wants to do, but doing event management.
Yeah, event management. And I've got a vague idea of what I want to do in the end, but more focusing on the surfing and hopefully it'll join up in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to know what you want to be when you're 30 and 40, when you're 18 and 15 and, it's 19, sorry, not 18. It's hard to know. So the best that you can do is what you feel passionate about at the time. So let's get back to Kimmy.
Becky, you're going to have to be her surrogate daughter. We're going to have to give you stories about Carren. I'm just saying.
So what's a normal day like for you in your home? How does it start? What's breakfast like? Is it mayhem? Is it chaos?
Well, it's usually pretty cruisy in the mornings until Jacob gets up.
That's the brother, right?
That's when the mayhem and the chaos starts?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Mum usually wakes up earlier and we'll hear her cooking in the kitchen, and the Thermomix will be going, and she'll be running around doing other things for lunches, and I'll get up and get myself ready and then get Jacob up, and then it gets a bit hectic then. But we come out for
That's
food.
hilarious, isn't it?
We make lunches and come out and have breakfast, and we all sit down together.
What's your breakfast? What do you guys have for breakfast at your place?
Sometimes we have smoothies or Mum's healthy pancakes or eggs and stuff like that.
Cool. And lunches?
Well, usually it's wraps, like spelt wraps, or leftovers from dinner the night before.
Okay.
They don't do sandwiches.
No, I think sandwiches are a bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, to people like all of us they are, but to the majority of the kids at school, they all have, most of them have sandwiches.
What do the kids eat at school? Like your peers?
Well, usually when I look around, there's packaged food, so like shapes or biscuits or chips or anything like that, and then lunches would be like white bread, Nutella, Vegemite.
So it's still there.
Nutella.
Yeah. Or then they put it on brown bread and go, oh, it's healthy, it's on wholemeal bread.
That makes them feel better.
Yeah.
And so, what do you feel like with your, extraordinary lunchbox?
Yeah.
versus everybody else's Nutella type lunchbox.
Well,
What's
I
that?
remember when I was in primary school, I'd be like, oh my god, why does everyone get like roll-ups and lots of chocolates and biscuits and
That was
stuff?
like me too. I was like, I want some of that.
Did you swap your lunches?
Yeah, I used to trade them.
Yeah.
Except no one ever wanted my food.
So I'd get little bits and give me little bits
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it. It was like a treat. It was
Did they feel sorry for you?
Sometimes, but then when I got older, I was like, no, I like my lunchbox because I know that it's good food going into my body, not crap.
And so that's hilarious. So it is, because when you're at school, you do compare what you've got for lunch with the other kids, don't you?
Yeah.
And like Tanya said, it's about fitting in, and that's kind of like when you start being accepted or not accepted.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that because, you know, that in and of itself sets up a foundation of how you see yourself as to whether you see yourself as somebody who is unaccepted in the world versus somebody who is prepared to stand independently and blaze their own trail and therefore have people who will follow you, you know, like you guys do. So when was the turning point for you, for when you went from, oh my God, look at my lunchbox, I'm such a dag, to I've got the best lunchbox because I know I've got good stuff going in and I'm going to be the world's greatest ballerina?
Yeah, well, I think in the past year and a bit, I've started to really focus on what's better for me, like for my dancing wise, what I need to put into my body to help me to become stronger and better for myself. And it's also changed the way I feel about myself. So by putting good food into my body and knowing that it's helping me,
Yeah.
I feel better about myself. And I think I've come to accept myself more and feel like I can stand out on my own and not have to be a follower. Like I can, you know, be my own.
Actually,
Wow, isn't that beautiful?
let's actually talk about.
My goodness, that's
you-
just given me
It-
goosebumps.
She is, yeah.
Can I
But
just say, even though I'm calling you a tart and giving you a hard time, both of you girls, aren't you just amazing mothers? Aren't you just amazing parents?
did everybody hear that? That's publicly said.
Damn, it's recorded.
Can you just write that down in a card?
No, I won't be doing that.
Can we just see that in writing?
Now, I want to talk to you about, you know, being someone who does things differently. Now, I know that every night after school you are at ballet, and I've just been to a ballet concert of yours, and I think you were in 26.
She did 2 concerts and was in 14 performances
In
each one.
each, so 28.
Plus teaching the little ones as well.
Yeah, and there was only 2 girls that did that.
Wow.
That was with the little girls, and I just leaned across to Kim and said, "Oh my gosh, no! You know, no one at 15 wants to do that stuff. They're very you're very self-centered usually at that age. But I saw you do that." But we were having a conversation in the car one day, and I would like to kind of have that conversation now with you. And it was regarding your friends and the way they think about pain and coughs and colds and how they treat their bodies and themselves as opposed to how you do. Do you remember that conversation we had?
Yeah.
So what had happened? I can't remember what had happened. Somebody was complaining about an ache or a pain or a...
Yeah, people would be like, oh, I've got such a headache, or oh, I don't feel too good, my arm's really sore, I think I'll just take a Nurofen or a Panadol. And I'm like, or you could just not take a Nurofen and you can put magnesium on it and eat healthier. And they've gone, oh, that's not going to fix it. And I'm like, yes, if you continually eat healthy and do the right things for your body, you won't have these things occurring so often. And they've gone, oh, but it's just quicker, I'll just take a Nurofen. And I'm like, okay. And then one girl who had a stress fracture in her back, you know, she was like, food isn't going to stop me from getting a fractured back. And I'm like, well, yes, it could actually. If you were eating healthily, it might not have led you to having to have that stress fracture in your back.
And a lot of athletes believe that they can eat anything that they want and think that their body is going to work for them, and eventually it breaks down, and they just don't have that realisation. And when we were having that conversation in the car...
Do you remember there was that night where you had the headache and you were telling me on the way home in the car, and you complained that you had the headache, and say what those girls
Yeah,
did.
well, I don't get headaches often, but every now and then I might get one or something. And I had a bit of a headache, and it was like pulsating, and I was trying to dance, but I couldn't do all the things full out. So I just marked a few things, and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, I just have a bit of a headache," and they've gone, "Oh, have a Panadol," and I'm like, "No, it's alright, I don't need one." They're like, "All right, well, don't complain then," and I'm like, "Okay." And so I was just I was just carried on dancing, and then I was just like, "Oh, no, I don't feel too good. I just need to sit out for a sec." And they're like, "Just take a Nurofen, it's fine." And I'm like, "I don't need to. Like, I would rather sit through the pain that is going to last, a few minutes, like half an hour tops, than take a Nurofen that's going to have to go through my bloodstream and my liver and kidneys that'll take months to get over."
How do you even know about that?
Yeah, I
It was
just
Kim Morrison.
And I love how she says she calls you by Kim Morrison, not by my mum. Actually, that's quite true. When I've been at your place, your kids do call you Kim.
They do.
I think that's great.
That's very cute. But I think the important thing for us as mothers was that it's not just that Taylor doesn't want to take the medication, that's why. Or more importantly, what's caused the pain. And so I remember us driving home and we really did work out that she'd been a bit dehydrated. She hadn't been drinking very much, do you remember? And she had a headache and she'd not slept very well. She was studying for exams. She does 26 hours a week on top of schoolwork, dancing and studying, and I just think it took its toll a little bit, and it was the end of a week and she was exhausted, and I think that was the beautiful thing when I heard her say, "I just think I need a good night's sleep." And I thought, wow, that's really insightful for someone young to go, my body's in pain, I don't need to take a drug or medication, I just need a good night's sleep and I need to hydrate myself. That to me as a mother is so it's just so encouraging to think that she can manage her body, know her body, understand her pain levels, and also know what's driving it, rather than just thinking it's an accident she's got a headache. You know?
And pay attention to the message that her body's sending you.
Yeah. Well, the girls are dancing, like a few of the girls will call me the anti-drug girl, or like, "Oh, you're one of those people that don't believe in drugs, do you?" I'm like, "No."
Well, pain is there for a reason.
Exactly.
Like, if you've got a pain in your back and you take a Nurofen, you're not meant to move that way that it hurts. Like,
That's right. That's right.
It's common sense, isn't it?
But
us grown-ups don't quite get that. Because
I think we're born into a society that believes that drugs are okay and that pain isn't. And when we realise that pain... I don't know if anyone watched 60 Minutes the other night, but the other night on 60 Minutes was two people who did not feel pain.
Oh, really?
Not feel pain at all. They could put ice blocks in their hands and could leave them there and they didn't feel pain. They would bite their tongue and didn't know they'd bitten their tongue. They would, put their hand on a hot plate. Now, they didn't have leprosy. It wasn't leprosy. They felt no pain, and their parents begged for their children to feel pain because then they wouldn't injure themselves so much and have horrific injuries. They had horrific injuries. So when you hear a parent say that, it actually got to me where I went, pain's good. Pain actually tells us that something's wrong. And in this society, we don't see pain as good until you see when someone doesn't feel pain and where they're in their life and in their health. So I've always believed that if we can teach our kids that what they have inside them, they have the ability to make the drugs that will help them with pain. If we give them the intelligence that they need to lay down or take time out, or their body's telling themselves that something, then they have the knowledge of what these girls have. And I believe the reason we have a drug addiction problem with illicit drugs is that they know that a little white pill is going to make them feel better because they've been told that from the day they were born. Virtually, as soon as our teeth are erupting, you get a Panadol, you get that stuff. Oh, you'll feel better. Here, have that. And then throughout their lives, they're given white pill after all the time. And then someone comes up to them and says, "You know what? This is an ecstasy, and this is going to make you feel good." They don't doubt that, and they will take it, not knowing that maybe it would kill them. If they, because it does. These drugs kill.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful for these kids to understand that they have the ability to mentally and physically help themselves from within rather than looking externally for help.
Do you know what I think is really powerful about that, what you've just said there, Cyndi? And, you know, I don't have kids, so I can only just, you know, draw on my own childhood and what I can imagine it would be like, in that, you know, when kids are growing up, and even when I was growing up, when I was in pain or I was emotionally in pain, you know, my mum would always soothe me and comfort me, and then, you know, we get older, and whenever we're suffering, the people around us, they tend to wrap their arms around us and say, there, don't cry, stop crying, it'll be okay, you're going to be all right, you're going to be fine. And it's not because the person's in pain. We do that because we don't like to see others suffering. So, you know, as kids are getting older, as kids are younger, I guess we're kind of giving them the pain to soothe it for them because we don't want to see anybody suffering.
Yeah, true.
And then as we get older, the world becomes such a busy place. It becomes overwhelmingly busy, and we're used to being able to continue functioning when we take that little pill. So if we get a pain or we get an ache, we take the little pill, and then we can continue doing all the things that we think we need to do in order to be valuable, in order to still be able to contribute and do all the things, you know, that we believe are important. But it's very misguided because we've become so used to numbing everything. Because originally, you know, when we're younger, it's because others don't like to see us in pain. But then when we get older, we don't like to see us in pain, so we just numb it. Isn't it?
Well, and I think when we had Dr.
Dr.
Sarah Farrant on, she was talking about the body and the whispers and the pains and the aches as a health expression. And that really, if you've read the book Vital Mums, that really helps you to understand that pain isn't scary. It's actually one of the best gauges you could ever have because you actually have to listen. And if you're numbing the pain, you could ride through an injury and then do a worse injury, or you aren't listening to the signs that dehydration is actually going to cause you kidney problems or things like that. So I love the fact that you girls are so... But you're not just doing it as a... because your mothers are saying. You girls are actually very... bright, intelligent young women, and I think it's wonderful that you're taking ownership of the information you're being given, and that's why I think we really wanted to invite also Rebecca into the room, because Rebecca's a young woman that I've met through Taylor, who's also a dancer with Taylor, but what really astounded me about this girl, or young woman should I say, who is 16?
Yep.
16. She last year decided, and I'd love to ask you what your upbringing was like, so maybe we can start off with that, and then I want to ask you what changed for you as far as the HCG, so we're going to head there.
And the latest podcast. Now, everyone, when we did the responsibility and blame...
I want to tell that story.
Yeah, Rebecca was in the room.
Doing work experience.
We're doing work experience with changing habits, and I want you to tell the story of what happened when you got in the car with your mum. So where would you like to start, Rebecca?
Let's start with growing up, because you've changed some of the ways even your family behaves because of your actions. So what's it been like for you growing up in your home?
Well, when I was 5, my little sister was born, and she was born with heaps of disabilities, and she was a miracle baby. Before that, my mum used to be a bodybuilder, and she was what I would call a health freak too. And so we did eat healthy and all that.
3 health freaking mums.
But I love this.
When Sarah was born, that's when I was only young, but I think everything changed then, because Mum would always be away in hospital with Sarah, and Dad would work and stuff, so I think everything just got really busy, and I know that we turned to more like... you guys wouldn't, but like we ate packaged food and all that sort of stuff.
Just for convenience and necessity.
Because of what was happening.
Mum was away a lot of the time, and Dad was working all the time, and that's just what we did. And so that was kind of how I grew up mostly. Just, I guess, what most of society does, just the way they eat from the media and all that sort of stuff. And
Because we do, don't we? I mean, you walk through the shopping centre,
Yeah.
and majority of the food that's in the aisles there is in boxes or in packets, or you know, dried this and dried that with pastas and rices and tin this and tin that, and then you've got the freezer foods. So it's only normal. I mean, if you don't know any better, you're just going to go with what's quick and what's easy, isn't it?
You don't know, so...
And there's an assumption that because it's on the grocery store shelf, it's good for you. And it should be edible and it shouldn't make you sick. That's the assumption that people make, but in actual fact, we know that that's not the truth.
Yeah, but I think the problem is that most people don't know. So...
Well, where did you then get that most people don't know? What changed for you?
I think I started to eat healthier and be more aware of, like health and nutrition and all that sort of stuff from meeting you, Kim.
You've done it again. Look at you.
And Andrew is never going to forgive you. I'm sorry, Andrew. I apologise publicly now. Rebecca's dad often frowns at me and Cyndi.
And how long ago was that? How long ago did you meet Kim, and start to...
The beginning of last year, I think. Yeah. When I
Was it that talk I did at Flinders? Was it the talk I did at school?
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Because you were in the audience there.
Yeah.
So what kind of light bulbs went off for you when you heard Kim speaking? Like, what were you thinking? Because you could have just been sitting there just, listening but not taking it in.
I don't know, I think it's just once you are educated and once someone starts telling you things, and I don't know, for me, I guess everyone's different, but for me it just started to all make sense, and if someone's telling me things that are going to be better for me, then why would I not do it, kind of thing. But then, whereas Dad is not like that, whereas he just doesn't want to be told what to do, and like he just
Andrew, this is a really good time to stop listening.
Well, actually, I was about to say he sounds like a man after my own heart. Me and my mum, we're both like that. Don't tell me what to do. I'll get there eventually, but don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
No, and he does like he's done like Jenny Craig in the past years and does those kind of diets and like shakes and things, and he thinks that's like what's good for him, and he doesn't want to. I don't even know what goes through his head thinking that that's better than like how Mum and I eat. And yeah, I don't know, but he doesn't want to be told to eat healthy because...
Do you think, what was interesting what you said at the beginning, before Sarah came along, do you think, and I'm just assuming or maybe proposing this to you, because you had 5 years of a mum that was very focused on nutrition and everything, do you think there's some sort of deeper cell memory that occurred that when you did hear those messages at 15, there was just like a return to source or a return to
what you already
knew? Like, do you think that...
Yeah, maybe.
It could be, couldn't it? I mean, just the fact that it felt so comfortable. I think I spoke for an hour at the school, and I remember looking at these 80 girls in this environment, and all Taylor's friends were so cute. They were all looking up at me, grinning from ear to ear, because maybe it's because they knew me or something, but it was just so beautiful. But I actually could see lights going on for some of them, and when Rebecca then approached me about looking at the way she was eating, the beautiful thing about your mum is she was also very committed about that, and she wanted you to experience, I guess, what that would be like. In other words, she didn't say, don't do this. What made you then take on the HCG protocol or Cyndi's 4-phase fat elimination protocol? Because you're young to want to do that.
Yeah.
Did you feel overweight?
I don't think I was overweight. I don't think I was fat, but I would say I wasn't fully comfortable, and I think part of it was a weight thing, that I wanted to lose a bit, but then it was also because I wanted to know what my body tolerated, like, because I was suspecting if I had intolerances to gluten and wheat and dairy, and so
I wanted to find that out as well. But yeah, to be honest, it was weight as well.
And you did it for how long? The
I
minimum
did
time?
do it long, yeah.
But you lost it, didn't she, Taylor? She lost a lot of weight very quick. When I say a lot, you weren't, like you say, overweight, but you all of a sudden, you just looked athletic. You went from looking like a young teenage girl to an athlete. That's what you looked like to me. That was the change in a matter of weeks.
And she was an athlete, so underneath that layer of inflammation and tub, because that's what we've got, we just look puffed up. Underneath that was the athlete. So to do that in 3 weeks, as you would have done it, that's what happens. People don't realise that what's underneath them, that puff and inflammation, are the athlete that you've been trying to become. And you've been doing ballet, with Taylor, and you do as many hours, don't you? As you guys do as many hours, or are you more Taylor? I don't know.
Haven't done as much this year with school and stuff,
Yeah.
but I've been dancing since I was 3 and have always
So
done a
you
lot.
have that muscle under there.
Yeah.
And you've learnt what foods are right and what's wrong for your body. See, I love this, that a 16-year-old
I think it's amazing.
has figured it out. I was always a bit concerned, and I said this to your mum when she asked me whether you could do it or not. I was concerned that young people doing it, unless they're well guided. Same with Tanya. Tanya did it when she got back from Canada. Because when you're that young and you know the foods that are inflaming your body and the foods that are good for your body, then that is your lot for the rest of your life. And so I was really concerned for young people to do this, because if they don't get the lesson, then what will happen is that they'll go on this yo-yo trip for the rest of their life. So, you got that lesson, which is just wonderful. You understood it and you're prepared to do it, because I know what your commitment is like to your health. So, yeah, congratulations. I think it's wonderful.
And I do think that there's a really important distinction to make around why you and, Tanya have done the HCG, because, it's not for young girls to get their hands on the HCG purely because they're conscious of their body image. It's got to be more than that. It's got to be around understanding how food affects your body and doing it for absolutely, and mind.
Yeah.
Rather than just taking it so that you can be skinny, so that all the boys like you, and then you just spend your whole life, doing the yo-yo dieting and becoming an emotional eater. Because it's during the younger years that we set up our relationship with food in terms of, do we eat for fuel or do we eat for sadness, reward, happiness, socialising? An emotional eater will be somebody who will just, binge and have these great outbursts of eating sugary foods and nasty foods, purely as a way of pacifying and numbing internal feelings, and it gets set up when we're young. So I think that the exciting part for me, because I'm the one out of the 3 of us.
That's the tart.
Okay, I'll take it. No, I'll take
the princess.
I'm the princess, but I called Kim a tart when we first started, and I feel bad now. But I think for me to hear that, because I'm very conscious of how our youth relate to food, as much as from a health perspective, but from a psychological perspective. I'm very concerned and very conscious of making sure whenever I'm in the company of younger people, to be aware of what's being set up for them. Only because what was set up for me was an emotional eating roller coaster, which is it's an ongoing challenge. Whereas for Kim and Cyndi, you guys are my heroes. I want to be you when I grow up and eat for fuel.
Can I ask all 3 of you, are there people around you that have had eating disorders or maybe psychological disorders, or you've seen people go down this path? Are there any people around any of you that you've noticed have these issues, and what's that like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. We've got family friends or friends that we know of that have those kind of disorders, and it's hard to see them go through that and not know what it's like with them, what they go through in their minds or what makes them want to do that. But it's sad to know that it goes on in the world out there.
And I think it's it has to have something to do with their mental state. It has to have something to do with that, because they often say that, not so much with anorexia nervosa and bulimia anymore, but cutting is now becoming a part of a real issue. And and they say that's the new anorexia nervosa and bulimia is the cutting that's going on.
Do you guys see anything like that?
What's the cutting?
The people cut
Self-harm.
themselves?
Self-harm.
I've seen I haven't seen it
Up front.
Like, I've seen my friends do have scars and stuff like that. I've seen, and they're over it now. When they're not, I wouldn't say open to it, but they'll admit I guess I was sick for a while. But yeah, I've seen it. I got a couple of friends that have definitely gone down as well, like the anorexia road and all of that. And yeah,
It's big, isn't it? I mean, and this is the thing. I mean, all of this sort of thing gets set up from these young ages, and even younger than you girls. In fact, probably much younger than you guys. In terms of how we relate to ourselves, how we see ourselves, and whether we value ourselves, which is why I'm sitting here in complete awe of you, because you girls all value yourselves enough to care about what you're thinking, what you're creating, what you're doing for yourself and with yourself. You actually care enough. You've learned to, as you said, Tanya, to be comfortable in your own skin. You figured that out already, and you've learnt that you are the determiner of the quality of your life, be it physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You are the determinant. You are the one who's in control. It all comes back to you. There's no external forces really that can have a say on the quality of your experience here in this world.
Do you all believe that you are role models? Have you ever seen yourselves as role models?
no, not really.
Really?
Not really.
Do you realise, they're being very humble here. Okay, so go back to when you were younger, even go back 5 years. Were there people you looked up to? Have you, or even now, are there people you look up to?
Yeah.
Especially at ballet, when you're at ballet and you're one of the little ones.
Yeah, I notice that I don't think of myself as a role model until, the teachers say, just remember, you're the role models, the little kids look up to you, and I'm like, no, they don't. Until, the mums actually come up to you and go, oh, they just think of you as just, they want to be like you, and they're like oh, really?
At the concert, those little ones did not take their eye off you girls. There was only two big girls and all these little things.
Yeah, I know.
And it was like, they did not take their eyes off you. And I leaned across to Kim. I leaned across quite a few times to her and just went, oh my gosh, they idolise her. They absolutely idolised you.
But then Taylor is about to meet Rachel Walsh, who is the principal dancer, or has been for many years, with the Queensland Ballet. And we've been fortunate enough to be put in touch with her, and I'd imagine Taylor's going to be a little bit awestruck in front of her. Just like Tanya was when she met
Lane
Beachley,
Remember when you met Lane?
Yeah. It's quite amazing, isn't it? So I would love to say to you girls that you are actually already a role model, and believe it or not, you're role models to us as older women.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm sure even your grandparents look to you as unbelievable role models for this generation, because this generation, I would imagine, you girls have all come through the technology phase. You have been born into a world where you don't know anything but technology. Does that have an influence on you, do you think, or do you just not know anything different? Are you used to everything just happening really quick?
I don't know. I'm not a really technological person.
Oh, she says she edited all your tapes and things last week.
I know.
See, they think it's normal.
And what did you do?
She did a lot of editing on my newsletter, believe it or not, and Carren, who runs this office, not Carren Smith, but the other Carren who runs this office, was in awe of your editing skills as a 16-year-old girl.
Wow.
She just kept saying, Cindy, have you got anything else for her to edit? She's brilliant. Just keep pushing it across. And then you want to know something? The newsletter goes out. There's one mistake in it, and it was run amok. How would you spell run amok, everybody? Run amok.
RUNAMUCK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you notice anything wrong? None of us. We got told off.
But how else would you spell it?
It's RUNAMOK.
Run
amok.
Run
Yeah,
amok.
that's how you spell it. Now I learned something. There you go.
No. If you say muck around, it's MUCK.
Yeah, well, that's what she came back with, and we all in the office. We all went. We've been told.
Oh.
We've been told by because you know what these people are like, Kimmy. They see, and it's glaringly obvious that it's wrong, and they have to tell you.
The precise types we're talking about.
Yeah.
Analicity is the other word.
Analyticity.
So for you girls, technology, do you use it all the time? Like, are you researching, like if we tell you something or you learn something, are you keen to learn more as young women? Or do you just take it as gospel, whatever you learn or hear? What do you do when you're challenged?
Yeah, if someone tells you something, sometimes everyone will just say, oh yeah, I'll believe that and pass it on, or others will, instantly get out that iPhone or something and research it, or Google it or something.
Ask Google or something.
Yeah.
So Taylor, what
Professor Google goes a long way.
Taylor came home from school one day and Taylor just explains how hard is it in school. Okay, so you girls, and I know you finished, Tanya, but in school, if a teacher says something in science, in particular around food or nutrition or something like that, how do you guys cope when you hear something you maybe don't believe? Like, what happens there?
Are you allowed to Google it in class?
Sometimes, you just have to sit there and hold back.
Yeah, I
Other
definitely.
times you just stand up and be like, you're wrong.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah, how did you go, Tanya?
I would say I didn't really speak up. Like I held my tongue, and I wouldn't believe a lot of the things that they say, and I just didn't really want to say anything. I didn't want to get into the argument because they've been taught that way. That's what they've been taught, and they're obviously going to defend how they've been
I think at the end of the day, you have to please them because they're the ones
marking you.
so-
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
That's what. Yeah, I've always been told. Even if you know it's wrong, like as long as you know what it is,
Yeah, if it's in the test paper.
you have to do what they're asking because they're the ones marking it.
And herein lies things like the medical profession, the pharmaceutical profession,
Dietitians.
dietitians.
It's an institution. They're taught this. They have to regurgitate it, put it on paper, and
to pass.
And it's not till you get out that you can actually make the changes in that. But most people stay institutionalised, and that's the sad thing. And I hope you three girls realise this. And Tanya, you're going into university. It's an institution. It's like they will teach you stuff that is mainstream in their little world, but there's a whole new world out there. And it's when you get out that you can start looking at other ways of doing it, including event management,
Well, I think what you said once was, because I regretted not doing university. I've always felt like I haven't achieved or hit the certain level until you said to me one day, Kim, all university teaches you is how to research. And of course, but if you don't go in with an open mind, you'll stay institutionalised. So maybe would that be a way you three would approach further learning, that you're happy to learn it, but you also stay open? Even when you hear things like what we say, I hope that you all feel strong enough to think that you could question that, because we love it when people challenge us, because it challenges us in our thinking. Are you brave enough now, Tanya, that you've left school to challenge that?
I did challenge it with my school peers, I guess. I would have arguments all the time at lunchtime with my friends on the whole Nurofen and taking a tablet just because you got a headache. And I'm like, why can't you just be a man and deal with it?
Tanya, you've never had a Panadol or a Nurofen your whole life, have you?
Never.
And you've never had antibiotics, cough mixtures, you've never had anything like that?
Are you rapt about that?
Yeah, I'm proud to say that I haven't.
So did Tanya have whooping cough and mumps and all of that sort of stuff? You don't know?
I don't know. I know she had chicken pox. That's about it. But yeah, Tanya's had not one drug, nothing injected into her, nothing.
That is just uber cool, isn't it?
I'll keep it that way.
Isn't that?
Okay, so on this note, because I know we're going to be running out of time at some point,
As we always
I just want to ask the three of you, boys.
Yeah, good question.
Naturally, the tart is the one that prompts the question.
Question.
Need I say more?
Because I would dare say that you three are not the type to be thinking that you have to have a boyfriend to be cool or that boys are the beyond. Because I've heard all three of you amongst and around boys, and you give it to them. You totally give it to them. So if you knew that other young women were listening to this podcast, what's some of your key things around relationships, food, things like let's start summarising what would you advise to someone who is listening to this? What would you say when it comes to impressing boys, or what matters to you girls now where you're sitting with your philosophies and values? What does it mean to you to be a woman, a young woman, and how are you going to relate to the world when it comes to relationships?
Why don't we get top 3 tips from each of the girls?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like if you were talking to girls your age, what would you tell them about food, health, mindset, and boys?
I think it would be to be yourself. So when it comes to boys, don't feel like you have to change for them, or just because you might have to cake yourself with makeup, or feel like you're not good enough you have to be one of those girls that has your boobs out to impress a boy or something.
Yeah, sure.
You can have classiness.
Yeah.
I think it's good to look after yourself as well in food terms, to know that you're putting good food into your body so that you don't have breakouts or have issues that are caused from food, like, it might be like depression, even though it doesn't come from food. When you are depressed, food can be a big source. And if you're putting bad food into your body, then it's just going to cause more issues. And yeah, I just think it's really good to look after yourself. It might seem selfish in a way, but, put your body first, then others. You know what I mean?
And Taylor, I've never heard you once look in the mirror and go, geez, you're an ugly cow.
Or I hate my boobs.
Or I hate my boobs.
Or I hate my legs.
Or I've got a fat gut. Or... And I know that's not me as your mother. What's made you be able to look in the mirror and go, you rock, you're actually all right?
Well, every now and then there might be a comment that pops into your head. I don't say it out loud, but it might be like, just something that annoys you about yourself, but it just leaves quickly, and you're just like, well, this is me. I have to love myself for who I am, and have that confidence about yourself, not be like, oh, I'm so insecure, and then hide away from it, and then constantly tell yourself you're bad. Because if you're constantly telling yourself that I'm fat, or I'm ugly, or I've got bad hair or something, then you're going to start to believe it, and then it'll turn into something bad, and it starts to eat you away. And I just feel that it's better to have positive thoughts in your head, especially to have a good mental state for my sport that I want to continue with.
You're incredibly articulate.
So if I was going to summarise that, because I've been writing it down, you've got number 1, be yourself. Number 2, look after yourself, both mind and body. And number 3, this is me, love myself for who I am.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's beautiful.
It is. It's wonderful. Rebecca, what are your 3 top tips?
I don't know if I have 3, but for me, I just don't take shit from me.
Rebecca, you're to me though someone who is a quiet, like a passive, determined person. You're not someone who has to scream and shout it. You're someone who will dig her heels in and just go, right. Is that true? Like, you'll just do it your way.
I am quiet, but I can stand up for myself at the same time. And I think that's also come from, I don't know, my upbringing. Like, I don't know, I think I'm mentally pretty tough, I'd say. Because when going back to, if you've had experience with anyone with, like, eating disorders or whatever, been through all that. Not me, but my younger sister with all the disabilities, like, and stuff, physical. And then my older sister went through anorexia and bulimia and depression. And so, like, I've seen that all and been through all that. And so I think that's definitely... And, like, obviously it was hard for the years that I went through that. But now that it's mostly over, it's kind of like... I mean, it's never really over, but I'm glad that it's happened to me because, you know, like, it's just made me get over things. Like, just get on
You
with
don't
it.
cry.
And I don't cry ever. Like, I don't know. I'm not affectionate. I'm not an emotional person.
Oh, but you are one of the warmest, most beautiful girls I know.
Yeah, but I'm like, things will happen and like it'll make me sad, but it's just kind of like, okay, like,
Chin up.
yeah.
Do you know, I think it's possible that you, because of everything that you've been through, you've learnt to take life in your stride.
Yeah.
Like, you've learnt to take it as it comes, and you've learnt to understand or come to terms with the impact that then has on you, and find who you are in that experience.
Yeah.
Meaning, you know, you've had that happen with both of your sisters, and you've made it mean for yourself that you can actually handle anything, and you're not going to take SH1T from anybody. You can say it, I can't say it. So it's taught you to, I guess, be comfortable in your own skin, because you've had to hold your own through all of that.
Yeah, and I guess it's because I've grown up to be independent, with like mum always being away and stuff. Like, I've been packing my lunchbox since I was like in grade 1, and it's like everyone at school still, their mums still just do everything for them, and like for me it's just kind of like do it yourself, like just, yeah, because for me, like, it's just completely different. Like, I've always just been brought up to look after myself kind of thing, because there's always been other stuff going on, and then so, yeah, and I just stand up for myself and just...
Rebecca, have you... Like, to me, you know, you could grow up, you could even turn this that you've been left out because your sisters have had more attention perhaps, or there's been an emphasis around their health concerns and things like that. But what's happened in your mind to make you think, actually, no, I just need to be independent rather than it's not fair?
Well, she's made herself the priority.
Yeah.
Which I think is really amazing. And you probably don't even know how you've done that. You've just done it. It's a natural response.
Yeah, well,
I just wonder what
I
that
always have
switch
to.
is
Yeah,
for
what is
girls.
that
Like, what has
switch?
one girl go, life sucks, and someone like you go, wow, I'm glad it's happened because it's taught me this. What is that? Do you think there's a switch or something in there?
I don't think there's a switch. No, I think it's just come with maturing and growing up. Like, and I see. I had it. I thought in my head. I don't know. It's just how I've always seen it, and I also have strict parents. Like, this is an example. Like, I've been brought up, even though I've been brought up to look after myself and like to be independent and learn that stuff happens in life and you just have to deal with it and keep going. But at the same time, I've been brought up with, like, you know, manners and learning courtesy and all that sort of stuff. And I think today, like, all the little kids now, like, they just seem so rude and just like, then I don't know, that it's not taught what I was taught. And like, especially when I was younger, it's like I just thought I had the strictest parents in the world and they were just so strict. But now when I see like the way other people my age and like younger talk to their parents, it's just like I could never talk to my parents like that. Like, it's just out of respect and yeah, I don't know, but just seeing, and that's kind of made, I think that's been a big thing for me, because I always thought, like, you know, my parents are so strict and why do we have all these rules and other people don't? But then it's given me like grounding, I guess, and for me, I'm just thankful that I've been brought up the way I have.
Was it horrible at the time when they'd say, no, you can't go to this party, or no, you can't do this? Was it horrible?
Yeah.
It was so unfair.
That's exactly right. It's unfair. and
All
it
of your
sucks.
friends could go and you're just sitting at home. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Actually, can I just summarise? You said you didn't think you had 3 points. You've actually got
Sorry.
No, it's brilliant.
5 brilliant points. So let's summarise them. Don't take shit.
She said it.
I said it. Stand up for yourself. Be independent. No matter what happens, see it as a lesson. And last, respect for your parents and be thankful for the lessons that you've learned.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well done.
That's amazing.
It is. It really is, you know, and it's very different to Taylor's. Because, you know, Taylor was brought up very differently. Even though, you know, you're the same age group, you've got 2 very different experiences. and both of you have come up with, fabulous ideas. And we're actually I'm going to write these down so that people have these in case you're listening.
Maybe this could be, and even if after the podcast, we could actually just really write this out, and it could be anyone listening to this could be there. We could print it out, and it's your own manifesto. Put it on the wall in your bathroom and read this every day, and put the I am independent. I won't take shite. I will look after them. I am me. I love me. Let's
actually we will do that. We'll call it
the teenage man, or no, the young
manifesto, the young woman's manifesto. I think we'll call
for
it.
living.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah. All right, Tania, your turn, honey. What are your top tips?
Confidence, definitely one of my biggest ones. I think being comfortable in your own skin, which is what I've figured out in the past year.
What about when you're not confident? Would you say fake it till you make it? So be confident, try and be as confident as you. Because sometimes if someone's listening to this, it's very easy to say, yeah, be confident. But inside you're not feeling confident. How do you be confident when you're not feeling confident? Get that one in.
Fake it till you make it?
Yeah, I was wondering.
There you go.
That's true, isn't it? Because it's when we're all sitting here happy and we're all feeling good, it's easy to say, yeah, be confident. But what about someone who's listening to this, a young girl who's going, I want to be confident, but I don't know how. What's the thoughts that go into your head when you're not feeling confident, but you know it's the best thing for you?
Well, instead of thinking the negative, you think the positive.
Nice.
Instead of losing, think of what you got out of that. Like just recently when I lost, I was just thinking I'm too embarrassed to walk up on the beach. I was thinking, why did I even come? It's a waste of mum and dad's money, a waste of my money, everything negative I could think was just going through it, and I was just pounding myself down. It was getting worse. And then like I said, in the past 6 months, I've just, instead of being I lost, I'm well, I lost, but I also got to go on a trip down to Newcastle. I got to stay with my dad in an awesome hotel, got to surf some awesome waves, and then when I did lose, I was free to do whatever I wanted. I was I don't have to compete anymore. I could go out, have maybe one drink, or, go enjoy some later night, I don't know, just enjoy.
You were free,
I was free to do what I wanted, instead of being tied down to a competition. I was trying to think more of a positive, but when I was there at that time, it was just negative, wasn't confident, and
that's cool. That's cool. So be confident and think positively.
Think on the positive side.
What about boys?
Boys?
What's your advice to young women around the opposite sex? Go on, give it to us.
I guess.
All right, what's your method of contraception? No, I'm just kidding. We're
Oh my goodness! I think that just took Cindy's breath away.
I think we'll cover that in another podcast. It's a question young women are asking me at the moment.
Are they?
Yes, it is.
And you know what? It's probably a really good question, because a lot think the pill's the only thing that they can do. But we don't need to get into that discussion right now, Kimmy. Let's just talk about what her... I want to know, honey, what's your... what is your advice about guys? Because, Tania, you're gorgeous, and many men have passed their way past you, and they just keep going because you just keep letting them go. You know what I mean? You don't seem to have an interest in having a boyfriend.
I don't know. I don't really see it as a necessity right now. It'd be nice to have a boyfriend, I guess, but...
Therein lies the point, isn't it? Until the right one comes along, there's, you're not having a boyfriend for the sake of having a boyfriend.
Yeah, it's not...
You don't feel it's something of a status, or that you need one to feel good in yourself. No. But if a man happened to turn up in your life that had all the things that ticked your box, it would be nice, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. I'm a marriage counsellor. No. Celebrant? No. Anyway, so as your auntie, I've got one other question for you around your manifesto. What about drugs and alcohol? Because you're older than the other two girls. What's your experience? I've seen your mother react with alcohol. But in all seriousness, with you being 19, almost 20, or a couple of weeks off turning 20, how hard has that peer pressure been, or has there been peer pressure? And what's your views around alcohol and drugs?
I think it's like all right to have the occasional, but
Occasional
drink. No, not drugs.
Just wanted to make sure everybody got that.
No, she won't take a Nurofen. She's not doing anything else.
I get the occasional and know what you're drinking. Like I drink vodka lemon soda, and I'll make that from scratch because then I know exactly what's in it, and there's no preservatives, there's no colours, there's no unwanted sugar that I don't like. Like sometimes I put Rabadura, and if I want it to be sweet, I don't know. I think it's alright to have the occasional, but not to a point. Like you got to listen to your body. Like I see people just drinking and vomiting up blood. Like I know some people, and they won't stop, and their doctors will be like, you shouldn't drink. You're to that point, and they will keep going.
And they're your age?
Yes.
Wow.
Tanya, what's it like when you're with? Have you? I don't know if now's the right forum. I'm just genuinely interested. Have you seen people around you taking drugs, and how do you stand there if you have and say, I don't want to be a part of that? What would your advice be to someone who's sitting who knows they don't want to, but they also want to feel part of the group? Do you feel on the outside if you're around that sort of environment, or people drinking to excess?
Not really. I definitely have seen a lot of it. But I don't know. I don't surround myself with the people that really want to do it a lot.
Actually, I think that's a really good point. Is that there's this whole thing that why surround yourself with people who are doing things that don't agree with your philosophy or your standard of living or what you do, and we're all like it. All of us would say that we will not be with people who do those types of things. I don't want to be around them. So why would a 19, 20-year-old want to be around peers that are doing that? Although I must admit, when you're at a party, you see it. Is that?
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, definitely.
But like attracts like. So you would be more inclined, all three of you girls would be more inclined to attract people into your close circle of friends that are more like you. Yes, you're still going to see a whole bunch of other stuff going on out there, but it's going to have less impact on you because it's not your best buddy who's doing it. You'll still see it, but it's not your best friend or your closest girlfriend who's caught up in that sort of stuff. Hopefully,
because if they are, then you try and move them away from it. If it's like you coming into the circle with Kim and I. Your whole focus on food has changed.
Totes.
From being someone who really didn't care about food to someone who now cares about food. And for me, the whole mind thing that you get into in your rabbit holes.
You are on our shoulder every time we have conversations with anybody. What would Kazza say? What would Kazza say?
Yeah.
What am I feeling?
Or what would she be thinking? Or how would she deal with this? Or so I think it's. I think it really rubs off on you. Your friends and their influence rubs off on you. And if you don't want that influence, you move away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I ask all three of you, have you got friends who don't get on with their parents? Or don't like their parents?
Before we answer that question, can I just summarise maybe Tanya?
Well, I want to include it in this because I know what she's going to say.
Okay.
I love it. But is there people around you that have parents, or their friends have got parents, they either keep secrets from them or they're scared to tell them or whatever? Do you feel the parent relationship is really important? And if so, what would your advice be to young women or young men as to how they can create maybe a better relationship with their parents if they don't have one?
Yeah, I know people that don't have a good relationship with their parents or keep things from them. And it's not healthy to keep things from your parents, as in to keep it like for your safety. Like I know people in my grade that have kept about drugs and alcohol from their parents, and then they find out, and then they've gotten into heaps of trouble, and then that trust is lost. So then they have to rebuild that trust, and they've just had to start over again. And I just don't see what the point is in doing that and surrounding yourself in that kind of situation of that world of drugs and alcohol. I just don't see the point.
And so so you're saying, tell your parents. Would you rather your parents said no, or at least no, do you understand that when parents do say no, it's around safety? Is that what you think?
Like gain their trust and let them know what you're doing. You don't have to tell them every single detail, but let them know on what you're doing.
She doesn't want every single detail.
On what's going on, so they're aware, not so shocked in what happens, but still have that trust there, but experience and experiment with different things, I guess.
I actually think that we could go for
Hours.
I'm actually really loving this and enjoying it, and maybe we can do this again and talk about other issues, but we need to. We've been going for an hour and 15, so for everybody listening, we are finishing up now. I'm going to summarise what Tanya said. We're going to write down we will write down the Young Woman's Manifesto for life, but for Tanya I got confidence, fake it till you make it, being comfortable in your own skin. Instead of thinking negative and pounding yourself down about these situations, see the good in what's happening around you, because there'll always be that. So see the good
and a purpose. I think you found the purpose. Like, what was the reason that I didn't win? Well, it was because I was supposed to go exploring tonight.
Yeah.
It was because I was supposed to be relaxed.
Yeah.
Just to add something quickly, what I pretty much live by is everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And whatever's meant to be will be. So stuff happens for a reason. And with boyfriends and stuff too, if it's you always might have a thing with a guy, but if it's meant to be, it'll work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And
Don't get emotionally attached.
Yeah, that's really good, because so many women get caught up in that relationship, and it just becomes all encompassing. So Tanya on that said that don't have a boyfriend just for the sake of it. Wait for the right one.
Oh, isn't that
And
beautiful?
why I brought up the parent thing, because Tanya brought up something before, which it may be that thing of, whilst it's annoying and you think it's unfair and all of that, if you're in that moment and you're listening to this and you're thinking your parents are making it unfair, was it, I got it right that you were looking back now, it was around your safety and it was around strictness. So strictnessicity is not a bad thing. Is that what you're saying, all of you? Is it nice to have parents that sometimes say no?
yeah.
Yes. Well, you look back at it now and just say yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
At the time.
Oh, you were hating them at the time.
So just know, parents, we will be hated at times.
I think
that's really important for us parents listening to this. It's not our job to be your friends, and you guys know that, don't you? I look at you and Tanya now, Cyndi, and I think, my gosh, it's almost like you two are girlfriends. You go off to have your coffee, you write your little gratitude journal, and you have your little moments, but you talk and you cook together and you share things together. That time does come, doesn't it, where you all of a sudden see yourselves as a friendship, not just a mother-daughter.
Yeah.
And that's pretty powerful. And I think that's every mother's dream, is that they get to that point with their daughters. And I think all three of us mums and your Auntie Kazza are very blessed to think that we have three remarkable young women in our sphere that actually we look up to. And I really want you three to hear that us three really do look up to you three. You are an inspiration to us. And it's out of your way of being, your presence, your state of mind, that encourages us to want to be better than who we are, and we can be better people, better parents as well. So thank you.
On that note, I saw a beautiful plaque that said "Family by chance, friends by choice."
Yeah.
And I thought that was beautiful. So thank you girls for joining us today. We have come to the end of our podcast. It has been such a treat for all of us. Thanks for sharing your innermosts. So listeners, we would love to hear from you in terms of your experiences, perhaps with your teenagers and your kids. Let us know what
lights them up and what challenges they face. Go to the Wellness Couch, which is all the W's.thewellnesscouch/up for a chat, where you can leave all your comments and concerns and questions. Also go to our Facebook page, which is all the W's.facebook.com/up for a chat. We'd love to hear from you on this podcast. We've been absolutely enamored and absolutely in awe of these three girls. So join us here next week on Up for a Chat and become part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. We'll see you on the ride with your kids.
Hi, this is Dr. Brett Hill from the Wellness Guys and That Paleo Show. How would a pair of Vivo Barefoot Ultras feel on your feet this summer? These guys are awesome, and our good friends at Vivo are giving away one pair of their newest range to one lucky Wellness Couch member. Vivo Barefoot shoes feature a puncture-resistant, flexible, non-pitch sole and a wide toe box which allows the foot to move as nature intended, as close to being barefoot as possible. All you have to do to be in the running is become a Wellness Couch member by midnight Sunday, December 22nd, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Membership is free and comes with a range of benefits. To become an official member of the Couch, go to www.thewellnesscouch.com and enter your name and email address. Merry Christmas from all of us here at the Wellness Couch, and may it be filled with great health and good times with those you love.
This has been a production of thewellnesscouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on facebook.com/thewellnesscouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives.
Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.